and against R7 a lot of the time.
See what direction they head in. So many potentials, so many strong first picks as a possibility. It's going to be the Jax blind, all right, for Wizer, up towards the top side of the map. Summit, you have to imagine he has an answer to this. So far, all of the champions that he's showcased at the playing stage with things like the Nart and the Ksante, with both Renekton and Jax being taken away from him, I don't think would be the best possible matchup, but we'll have to wait and see. Instead, you could just look to lock in your jungle here. Maybe instead prioritize something like the Jarvan we've seen come through. Ksante actually going to be the direction. I typically like the Jax into this matchup. There's always the possibility of it being flexed, but I do think that's unlikely. With the Ksante now locked in, do they want to try and grab jungle? Do they want to grab something like the Ashe for themselves that you already mentioned, Medic? We haven't seen it so far from Xayah so far.
It has been banned against paiN Gaming in 80% of their against, I've got this the wrong way around. Rainbow 7 haven't had banned against them at all, so I was looking at what Rainbow 7 were banning, and they banned away the Ashe in 40% of the games. Instead, the Poppy locked in. Ksante likely going towards top, can of course still be flexed to mid, although we don't really see that much anymore. Poppy, jungle, or support. Lucian looks like where Cheetah wants to go. We have seen some power from Lucians so far here at Worlds.
Question is, will they pair it up alongside the Nami if they do lock that in? Poppy, the flexibility that you have already getting a lot of value playing into both a Lucian and a Jax. You have to imagine that Nami's going to come alongside it, and there it is. We've been seeing this a little bit so far at Worlds. And R7 looking to round things out with what I believe to be the strongest mid laner on the current patch. Syndra going to be the lock-in, and now they can remove some of the potential answers. Ahri, you can take that away from dyNquedo. As well, like, so far we haven't seen things like the Echo or the Fizz come through. We did see it many years ago. I believe it was Worlds 2018 when we saw a bit.
Yep, a long time ago. We saw a lot in play-ins a couple of worlds ago as well, in jungle, but then it kind of fell out as soon as we got into the main stage.
At the main stage.
Yeah.
You know, Knight used to be an Echo one-trip. So I'm hoping, but we'll have to wait and see. Is the Sejuani now banned away from Cariok? The Nautilus going to be taken away as well. Makes a lot of sense. paiN Gaming can limit a lot of those engaged supports. Rel may very well be on the docket next, alongside the Leona. Both viable options, but when you look at what Lyonz is prioritized, I imagine the Rel is what we're going to see come.
Yeah, Rel makes a lot of sense. It's banned here from paiN Gaming alongside the Nautilus, of course. I wonder where Rainbow 7 will go with their bot lane. You can look for something aggressive. We've already seen Xayah play the Lucian, play the Draven at Worlds so far, but do you really want to be trying to match head-to-head against a Lucian Nami? There's the option as well to go scaling and just get out of that lane. Lane swap early, get level 3 on your support and your AD carry. Kalista the second ban, remove some of that engaged potential. The range with the Fate's Call at level 6 for the Kalista, very powerful.
It looks like that Xayah doesn't play Jhin, who I was expecting to come through here. I think it was a very safe blind. But remember that this Poppy is a flex. We don't know just yet whether it's going into the jungle or into the support position. The Xayah Poppy is an interesting bot lane for sure.
It's a way to get pooped on that. Into Lucian Nami, you're not going to have a fun time at all. No Jhin games at all for Xayah this year. So obviously something he hasn't been too comfortable on, at least in 2014. paiN Gaming looking towards their mid and their jungle. Ahri picked. And as an Ahri aficionado, I'm sure you can break down this matchup for us when we get into the game. No?
I mean, I'm honestly surprised that so many Ahris are kind of getting away with the matchup. I feel like it could be so oppressive from a good Syndra player. But once you get level 6, you have a lot of potential gank setup. So we need to see a strong jungler to pair alongside it. When we look at paiN Gaming's composition, they don't really have a lot of engaged tools. So they've decided we want to round things out with the Maokai. We want to have that large AoE, good objective control, good setup. As we turn our attention back to R7, it looks like that Poppy is going into the support position. I really think they should consider keeping it in jungle and picking something like the Rel. I would prefer the Rel. I think it would give them a lot more team fighting. There's the Rakan.
Yeah.
Now Lyonz, this man is very familiar with Rakan. When you kind of look at his all-time, he has a lot of experience in the champion.
Yeah, it's his third most played.
Yeah, and it's something that I think gives him a lot of comfort. Now, it's ideally what you need coming into this first game. And this best of 3, figuring out the playstyle of your opponent. In terms of early game options, I love the potential setup that R7 have through their mids. I think it's going to be, especially when level 6 comes down, look at all the dashes that they have. Ahri, Lucian, Jax, Poppy, going to be getting a lot of value as we get into the mid game once those ultimates start to come through.
I think this bot lane is a very easy lane to play through for R7. When you have the Rakan Xayah set up, a lot of skirmishing power that you're likely going to struggle at the very early levels, thanks to the added damage that Lucian's going to get from the Nami. But with the scaling side lane threats and potential side lane options, paiN Gaming, perhaps they don't look to try and 5v5 in the late game. Perhaps they instead try to leverage.
Well, it has been a long, long wait. 8 years since INTZ made it to the stage, and as a region, they were explosive when they first joined. Kaboom became a moniker for destroying an upper-level team, for destroying a major region. And now we see both these teams face up on the Rift. It looks like it's going to be normal lanes from both the teams. The Xayah, Rakan from Xayah and Lyonz down towards that bottom side, just covering the blue.
Keeping an eye on early vision being invested from both sides. In terms of the runes, nothing too crazy. And
Minions have spawned.
It looks like that there's just a bit of a battle for that early ward onto the Raptor camp. Kind of gonna drop that one down. And Nami not gonna be able to clear that one out. So in terms of the standard line of scrimmage, nothing too chaotic.
I really feel like that's the only moment of silence we're gonna get throughout this entire game, Betty.
I was surprised yesterday with how patient paiN Gaming were playing. The early games were just kind of steady, slow. Like they didn't actually get drawn into the bloodshed. And I don't want to set expectations that it's going to be chaotic right from the start. I feel like when we enter the mid game and when these teams need to start competing a lot more around leveraging their side lane push into moving into jungle, setting up their vision, that's where the teams have a tendency to just, why don't we just go in and fight? And they love fighting over their objectives. They love kind of getting into the thick of things and trying to brawl. Speaking of, already you're seeing the strength of this Lucian Nami, having additional sustain thanks to the Nami, on top of the fact that you just have so much extra trading power. Rakan really just not providing much level 1.
Yeah, the Gleaming Quill is nice when your opponents don't have sustain, because you can Gleaming Quill, you can use that Q, you can heal up, you can take those trades with the Guardian as well, but Kuri on the Nami is like, cool, anything you can do, I can do better. I'm just going to use that ebb and flow, heal us both up, give the Lucian extra damage by using that as well. We see Keine winning that mid lane matchup, as you kind of predicted him to, Vedi. Ahri not the easiest to play into the Syndra, but we have been seeing it go okay on occasion.
So, yeah, this is the thing that surprises me, because I feel like really good Syndra players make it very difficult to Ahri to play the lane. And for context, the main reason is Ahri's Q range is 900 units, right? Whereas Syndra's Q is 800. The problem is that when Ahri uses her Q, it kind of very briefly makes her stationary.
Yeah, it's a self-stun.
Right? Yeah, and it's very easy for Syndra to punish that, whether her Q or with her stun or with her W, right? But also...
Oh, good route. Ignite going down as well onto Cheetan. Had to pop the barrier and the heal. 2 sums for 1. The Blade Caller from Xayah just catching Cheetan's heals.
But he stands his ground. He doesn't burn the flash. Of course, he does have to use the barrier, but overall, still a good trade. And now Oddie fishing. Started with a clear up towards the top side, moving towards bot, now in a good position to cover. But the Maokai, you imagine, going to be doing the same thing. Cariok hovering off in the distance. TP going to be invested mid from dyNquedo already. But everyone's out of pots. Everyone's out, except for Kuri, who's full health, happy as can be. But the wave is now pushing into paiN Gaming, which is a really nice position for them to be in. If R7 choose to back now, it's going to be very awkward. A freeze could be set up. You could also have paiN Gaming's bot lane go back to base and catch the wave. So they kind of need a bit of assistance to help get this lane through. And look at the problem that they now find themselves in. That wave is pushing against them. They don't have the HP. Kuri has enough mana to continue providing sustain. And now the involvement of the junglers to help fix the wave state.
And although Oddie is even in terms of CS, he is a camp down from his own jungle. He took a Scuttle Crab, but hasn't taken his blue yet. So that timer on the blue being extended by the fact that Oddie has to stay around here and make sure this wave shoves out. Cheetan and Kuri shouldn't be able to hold this if R7 put a tiny bit of pressure on. Should be okay. Actually, with the wave coming in, R7 decided against any pressure. So Cheetan and Kuri can just back around this corner and the wave will be in a very good spot for them.
Nicely done. So, it's not the end of the world though for R7. They're not going to lose too much off the back of this. It's just that the wave is not going to be in the best state form.
Yeah. And the problem for Xayah and Lyonz is you only have a cleanse, right? So the cleanse is, oh, that was nice from Kuri. He was trying to get the final stack from the World Atlas as the back came out, so he got a stack up, was like, oh, I'll auto-attack this, but it looks like Cheetan was just out of range to actually have that stack go across to him. But the problem for Xayah is, even though you've burnt the barrier and the heal from Kuri, you don't actually have a summoner that's going to do too much unless you get CC'd, right? So your anticipation is, I'm going to dodge the bubble anyway. I don't have a barrier against Ksante and Kuri. The cleanse will be good later on when there's Twisted Advance, when there's the Jackson, when there's the Charm. But in the lane, really, all it's going to do is get you out of that Aquapism or maybe a slow, which can sometimes change a fight, but rarely.
True. I will say, though, that it's going to make a Xayah, who's already pretty difficult to lock down, even harder.
Oh, yeah. Later on, it's going to be so difficult.
Thanks to the ultimate as well. And as a champion, you love it when people are trying to dive on top of you. Jax, Ahri, Lucian, all these champions that want to try and close that gap, create the space to dive on top. I will say Ahri is one of the better champions if she can leverage Fog of War because of how quickly she can catch you off guard. But in any case, overall, kind of steady, slow laning phase. Kind of what we talked about.
Yeah.
Things don't get chaotic for these teams in the laning phase. In fact, this is where I think we see some of the talent shine through from the regions, where they get to demonstrate some of their individual prowess. Speaking of, nice trading once again from the paiN Gaming bot lane.
Yeah, really nice there from Ksante, forcing Xayah and Lyonz away. With Cariok just around the corner as well. They have to back all the way away. Didn't quite see where the wave was, but looks like R7 investing in the top side for now. Will give up this Drake if Cariok decides to get it, and they will go towards the Grubs. And we've mentioned it a couple of times, Vedi, but the history between these regions, although fierce, isn't multitudinous. They've only played 10 games against each other on the international stage. CBLOL 9-1 up. The last time LLA won was all the way back in 2019, and that was only a single series. They didn't actually, a single game. That wasn't even a series that PEX managed to pick up back then. CBLOL have been to the world's main stage 3 times, but not since Play-Ins were introduced. They qualified through the International Wildcard Qualifier or the International Wildcard Tournament, but they've never actually been able to make it to the main stage since 2016.
And that was Kaboom, paiN, and INTZ, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because then we had the infamous INTZ getting the upset against EDG back in 2016. Then, of course, I think we had Kaboom upsetting EU as
Alliance,
well.
yeah.
Alliance, yeah.
Tin owns his Ahri still. I have nightmares. As Cariok is looking for a gank here, Vedi, in the bot lane. Ksante level 6 as well has that culling the cleanse away from the Aquapism, but he's knocked back with a Bramble Smash. And there's first blood to PNG. Cariok looking to make it 2. The flash away by Lyonz into a sapling. That won't take for enough through the Gleaming Quill. Keine on his way across. They can look to collapse, but Ksante has both sums. Cariok is still only level 5. Kuri has the flash. Cariok has his as well. Keine, can you find him? Ksante dashing forward. The unleashed power is not enough, but Oddie comes in for the kill. The knock up on Cariok, now no flash for him, and that tree might be going timber. Oddie puts down the steadfast presence, and Cariok, even with the Bramble Smash, will not survive. Keine finds 2.
A double kill for Keine and a nice roam from the Syndra. Something you don't often see in the early game. Will result in this bot lane wave, though, still being awkward. The timing from PNG was flawless. With a nice stacked wave, they set up for the dive, and before the level 6 can come through, they're able to execute and find themselves first blood. But they back in the brush in the lane, allowing for Kaine's roam to find value. We look back at this dive, only level 4 for Xayah. And with Ksante being level 6, the culling doing so much work, so much farm lost there for Xayah underneath the tower. But then they go back in this brush. They don't respect the fact that Kaine's on the roam, even though the Ahri has gotten the push in mids. They think that they can actually out-damage Keine, but I don't know if you know this, Syndra level 6 really hurts.
It's GG, and, okay, GG game of...
They're able to find themselves 2 kills. Now, the good news for Xayah is he did end up going mid and he caught a bit of farm, but you could see the discrepancy already being built. The good news for R7 is that their solo lane is things are going very well. Not quite sure what's been happening in the top lane, but Summit has steadily been building a nice advantage. He's got about a 2-wave lead. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, thanks to those 2 kills, Keine is now looking to be very powerful with the Luden's Companion already completed.
I do like the move from Xayah off the respawn, going to mid, catching that wave, though knew that he couldn't really impact the bot side, and then Keine stays bot, pushes out an extra wave. Xayah can back, or at least move across through the jungle here to get back to his normal lane. Got that solo XP as well, so he's back up to level 6, which gives him the Featherstorm. Obviously adds that extra defensive tool for the Xayah. But when we were talking about all those freezes coming out from Ksante and Kuri, that's what comes out of it. That's what grows from those early freezes. Lack of experience for the enemy AD carrier, 2-level advantage early on, and the dive coming off, but not actually paying dividends in the end for R7. Only 100 gold between the 2 teams. First Drake secured by PNG. Next set of grubs, though, with Rainbow 7 already having 3 of them, is up in 1 minute's time, Vedi.
Question is, will we see a swap come through from either side to control them? Oh, stun. Nice bit of damage. The Loon's companion going to make this matchup so much harder.
Keine doesn't have flash, and we can see Wizer was already moving from the top side. dyNquedo going in with the charm. Lyonz here to try and block, and they will survive. TP as well by Summit to join the party. They're going for Cariok first. Force of Will with the stun. Pulled back with the all-out. Wizer there trying to get a stun up, but can't quite land it. Oddie caught in the bubble, but already one kill over to R7. Wizer locked up again, and R7 will pounce once again. They're punishing paiN Gaming.
R7 responding to the plays from paiN Gaming incredibly well. Ooh, nice bubble there.
Kuri flashes over the quickness, the charm. Keine on a rampage now, 4-0 on this Syndra.
Just a nice bait and switch, Xayah.
Has the Feather Storm, has to use it to get away. In the end, exchange of ultimates between the AD carries.
Yeah, so Cheetan is now going to be up against... He's got a big hill to climb. Yeah. Because while he's finding his own... Oh, he's overstayed.
He has the flash and barrier, flashes away, but still gets knocked up. Keeper's verdict. Cheetan's guilty of overstaying. Lyonz gets his first of the game.
Wow. So R7, they shut down the strong point for paiN Gaming. A single overstep from Cheetan costs him a lot. The kill does go over to Lyonz, but you know what? That's still damage done. A 1.2k lead overall for R7 now. As we turn our attention to mid lane, they're trying to punish the flash of the Syndra. This makes sense. But look at the return damage coming out from Keine. Even though the root comes down, the ultimate immediately forces dyNquedo out of the fight. And then the follow-up stun from Keine onto the Maokai, who doesn't have flash as well. The fact that Keine was able to pick up kill after kill is going to do wonders for this R7 squad, as PNG thinking that they can still go for something. The bubble will connect here as everyone starts to disengage. I don't think Kuri really wanted much off the back of this, but dyNquedo looking for a bit of a trade, gets stunned up. Lyonz then gets to level 6, has the ultimate available, and then the follow-up through means that another kill goes over to the Syndra. 4-0-0 now. Merc tread secured. I like the choice of boots when you're going up against the Maokai, the Nami, and the Ahri as well.
Also, you're so accelerated, do you really need to go Sork boots, right? Do you need that little bit of extra greed when you already have a Luden's companion complete and only a lost chapter and a little book for dyNquedo? paiN Gaming were able to pick up 3 grubs as R7 were resetting after those mid lane plays. We can see them starting up the Drake again. dyNquedo is pushing out bot. It looks like Xayah is going to be the one to answer that. Can R7 get control over the river? At the moment, it's Cariok with the first move in here. Keine cleared out the mid lane and now is coming across to secure this blue.
Summit continues to find advantages in the top lane 1v1, leveraging his experience to just become a powerhouse frontliner that's going to be difficult to deal with as the game continues. Now, if you're paiN Gaming, you need to be thinking, okay, right, obviously the Syndra's very strong, but trying to force her onto a side lane would be your best case scenario, because she doesn't have the mobility and the safety that a side laner does, as Cariok sets his sights on top lane.
Counter-Strike comes out. Summit does have the all-out, has the flash as well. Cariok goes in with the twisted advance, and Summit's now trying to fight a 1v3 all-outs. But even through the Nature's Grasp, the charm connects. dyNquedo on the board for paiN Gaming. You give up the Drake for this, but paiN Gaming decided it was worth.
I mean, we just talked about the side lanes, and this is where I think paiN Gaming needs to try and play through, because the beauty of Ahri is that she has great setup. She can shadow laners, she can potentially shadow the Jax to look for picks onto Summit, or maybe she can work with Maokai to attack the Syndra in a side lane. Like, they have side lane options if they can gain that control. Funneling these plates is going to give them a nice advantage.
Wait. Kaine's coming in here all on his lonesome. The charm immediately connects. The counter-strike, twisted advance forward. Good scatter the weak. Cariok tanking the tower. Unleashed power will not be enough to bring down the tree. Summit TP'd in as well to bolster the defenses of this tier 1.
The best thing about this whole sequence for R7 is that Xayah was basically left untouched in the bot lane, able to secure as many plates as he could, able to get a lot of solo experience, while Cheetan was pushing in the mid lane and all this action was happening on the top side. Of course, the downside is you committed now both of your TPs, as Wizer was able to go back to base, secure the Drilling Force, and now he's TP'd towards the bot side of the map. We find ourselves 1-to-1 in Drakes. The Grubs are now even. The neutral objectives are pretty much spread evenly across the board. And even though paiN Gaming have kind of been falling short in the mid and the top side of the map, the gold's still not something so significant that they can't turn this game around.
Yeah, 1,000 gold, the majority of it sitting on Keine in the mid lane. He's going to try and answer Wizer down towards this bottom side. And he'll be able to do it. Oddie coming across as well, just to make sure that Keine was at no risk of being dived. will clear out some of this vision as well. The Rift Hold is available for either team, but really, you're looking at a pick before it, and Cariok is looking at that pick in the top lane. Remember, Summit does still have the flash, will dash away from dyNquedo. The safety of the Pathmaker there shown by Summit.
I think it's wise putting...
he's going back in. dyNquedo's going in as well with the Spirit Rush. Cariok coming across. There's a twisted advance into the Charm, into the knockback with the Bramble Smasher. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, R7 should be taking this tower. Nature's Grass coming out. Pathmaker still rooted. The culling not enough quite yet. Cheetan gets a lock-in and he gets the kill to boot. A tower for tower exchange, but a kill alongside it for paiN.
A nice punish, and you called it, Medic. Summit just oversteps. He walks up for a trade that he shouldn't have tried to go for. Again, though, you see these cross maps coming through from R7 because paiN is kind of overstacking on one side of the map, allowing for R7 to at least exchange turrets elsewhere. But I like the fact that paiN Gaming are committing to this tier 2 in the top lane. They'll spread the gold evenly, but now R7 is looking for a collapse.
And Lyonz is going to get slowed by the sapling and by that Bramble Smash. Celestial opposition taken off him, and because of that, Cariok guarding well his mid and his bot lane. In the end, it was 2 towers for 2, a kill as well to paiN. The gold still about 1,000 between the two teams, but because paiN Gaming were delayed on their reset, R7 get the time to set up around the Rift Herald. Cariok could look for this. I'm not sure you really want to play into this, though. You don't have your ultimates, and you don't really have a way in. Oh, okay. A second I thought he was just going to blast cone over. Sapling coming down. Cariok maybe just looking for the smite fight here, and he gets it! The keeper's verdict too late. Oddie found wanting, and now they just give them the Herald's Eye as well. Couldn't defend, of course, because Lyonz had just backed away. Cheetan dashing across the wall to put more paiN into the back of Oddie.
Oddie didn't have smite!
Well, that's probably why he didn't win the smite fight, Betty.
So, Cariok can just walk up, steal that one away, and says, thanks for the leash, buddy. I appreciate your time. Nice root comes out from Xayah. As the culling responds to force him back. No objective available on the map right now, but this Herald is going to be crucial to helping paiN unlock that mid-tier 1.
Summit's got a flank position here. Kuri, you got flash, you got heal. Summit can try and lock you up with the all-out. There's the flash, quickness coming out from Lyonz. A great Bramble Smash alongside the tidal wave will stop Lyonz in his tracks. A little bit of an overstep by Kuri, has to burn both his summoners and 2 ultimates to escape, but it was well played to navigate his way out of that situation.
Keep your eyes on the mini-map, Medic. Oh, that's a flash?
dyNquedo a spirit rushed away as well. Flash for an ultimate exchange. The charm onto Oddie now. Xayah looking for a reset. Kuri taking a chunk. Nature's Grass coming out, but that's just going to be dodged away by everyone. Oddie able to escape with the root being eaten earlier on. And importantly, paiN Gaming secure the Razor Beaks, Betty. That's what the fight was for, obviously. paiN Gaming get them.
I mean, this was the chaos we were expecting.
Yes, it was.
It started because Summit had been able to find a flank onto Kuri, which I think in and of itself, good opportunity to go for a play. But then it ends up resulting in paiN saying, you know what, we can convert this into a play of our own. In fact, our observers are saying, no, it starts even earlier than that, because remember, the Herald gets yoinked away, no smite available for Oddie. Means that the ultimate from Oddie wasn't used fast enough. And then what's crazy is no one ends up actually dying in that exchange. The Raptors do end up going down, but ultimately, a lot of summoners used. Dragon now in 10 seconds time. I thought that bot tower was going to fall in the exchange because Wizer was just left completely uncontested, but Summit was able to make it there in time. And now the Storm Surge completed for Keine.
And the Lightning Jewel. Like, Keine is so damn strong right now. Basically an item ahead of dyNquedo. The second Drake of the game on the menu for R7.
paiN you Gaming. Ever
what's up?
Gone up against a baseball machine?
No.
Well, imagine one.
Yes.
Just ramped up to 100s.
Okay.
That's going to be Keine when she ults.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Syndra is going to do mega damage. As the Herald gets dropped in mid, they're looking for the fight.
Cariok going in for the engage here, goes in with a twisted advance, but the unleashed power into his back will allow him. Oh, he's now going to step away. The Rift Herald going to take this tower in mid lane as well. Cariok able to escape. Scatter the Weak finds him, and in the end he falls. Summit trying to dash in here, dodges the bubble, dodges the charm, but can't dodge close enough to paiN Gaming to find that all out.
I mean, the objectives are still being traded. paiN Gaming, they were able to secure mid. Summit oversteps again.
There's the charm. Summit falling low. Pathmaker, quickness. Doesn't land the knockup, but the stun still going on to Cheetan. He tries to escape. He's slammed into the wall. and Cheetah pays for dashing forward, looking for the fight.
Well, it definitely was an overstep from Summit, but the rest of R7 were ready to capitalize and support their top laner. A really nice engage from Lyonz results in Cheetah losing his life. 1-3-1 now on the Lucian. A great start, still very strong with the second item being completed, but he's the player that they can't afford to have caught, and with no summoners, that's only going to get easier for R7.
The risk for paiN Gaming now is like, how do you get onto Keine? How do you get past the Scatter of the Weak? How do you get past the Force of Will? He's 5-0. Really, it's dyNquedo finding a good Spirit Rush Charm, or Cariok going in, or Wizer flashing with a good counter-strike, because you don't really have superb long-range engage tools that can't be mitigated by someone like Summit just standing in front of the Nature's Grasp.
Well, I think the bigger thing is the Poppy,
Yep.
right? Like, how do you get through the Poppy? The ultimate, the steadfast presence. There's so much utility provided by this champion to just offer peel for Keine. So I think it's going to be difficult. paiN Gaming top position is very much about dive, and you know, we've talked about this on the LEC before, but Maokai is a pseudo-engage, right? You provide a lot of zone control, and the Maokai ultimate can be an engage, but it's not a reliable way to start a fight, just because it's kind of, you just stand behind one person. There are things you can do. Summit himself could tank it. Like, there are options to mitigate it. So paiN Gaming have to have good vision control. This is why we talked about them needing to play through these side lanes, gain control over a space, create these pockets of darkness where they can look for picks, create numbers advantage, and then give the space for Cheetah to really unleash on the Lucian.
See how well paiN Gaming can navigate the next few moments. 2.5 minutes on the next Drake. You can see Cariok once again. He's done this flank like 3 times this game. Keeper's Verdict comes out, knocks him away, and even though the Nature's Grasp hits, Oddie should be fine.
I like the fact that Oddie is just covering for Keine. It just makes a lot of sense, you know? Make sure that your strong side is safe, secure, protected. The Void Staff going to be very, it's going to be completed soon. That's what I wanted to say. And
for the moment, it's R7 on the front foot, taking control of this jungle. Obviously not much left here because it's already been taken out by paiN Gaming. We saw them securing their blue a couple of moments ago. 2 minutes on the next Drake. Looks like a Baron setup currently. Summit doesn't have TP though, so you can see he's starting to wander his way up from the bot lane after shoving that in to make sure that R7 do have a possibility to react if paiN Gaming look for an engage.
time being, paiN Gaming are just doing their best to get what gold they can, knowing that there are no objectives on the map to play for right now. Farming is your best bet. Keine needs to be very careful up on the top side of the map, knowing that without the support of Oddie, who is now there, recalling with him, there should be the Void Staff secured. A 600 gold bounty sitting on Keine as well, with Oddie now completing the Abyssal Mask too.
Yeah, they are so strong right now. 2 items on Xayah, Keine now at 3, 2 items on Oddie with that Abyssal Mask, as you say. paiN Gaming playing catch-up with dyNquedo only just getting over to 2 items himself. But it seems like we've fallen into a little bit of a lull in this game, Vedi. Is this okay for R7? Are they fine saying, okay, we can wait for the next Drake, which is what they're now starting to play around. We can slowly push our advantage without being too explosive, or should they be looking for something a little bit more explosive at the moment?
I mean, I think because R7 has a stronger teamfight comp, that, yeah, they're fine. You could argue that paiN Gaming just have more damage threats, given that they do have the Jack in the top lane. He's probably the champion you're most concerned about
Sure.
if you're R7, just because his ability to find flanks, his access to the backline isn't as limited, I would say. But again, like, it really all comes down to how Oddie plays the fights.
Yeah.
If Oddie wants to, he can stop anyone getting onto Keine. So as the next objective spawns, the thing I'm concerned about for paiN is the fact that they're going to want to fight. And the setup is crucial, and you can see Keine is, it's scary to face check, man. Syndra is strong, especially around towers, because if you overstep, she can stun you, kill you. Walking into Fog of War, stun you, kill you.
Yeah.
And hell, you overstep in the mid lane, she'll stun you and kill you. She's really good at doing that.
And you can see Cheetah just trying to put some damage back. Lyonz looking for that flank position. dyNquedo might go for the charm. Grand entrance. It's a grand exit for Lyonz, but again, it's just the poke, right, from Keine. He's already at 100 splinters, stacking up on that Syndra, has all of that increased damage in his kit, and the Drake has been begun by R7. Lyonz and Summit holding alongside this control ward. Nature's Grass coming out. Oddie tanks it. Keine gets rooted as well, and the flank position is on here for Wizer. The charm onto Oddie as well. He flashes away and brings Cariok into the middle of his team. Wizer finds one. They're going to engage. Keine flashing forward. The unleashed power is enough for dyNquedo. Still on the chase. The charm eaten by Lyonz is beautiful. He saves his mid laner's life, and now Summit has time in the midst of 4 members of paiN Gaming. Xayah begins to open up. Cariok going for that backline again. Keine falling low, but the scatter the weak is sublime. R7, that was on a knife edge. That was a game of inches. And credit to Lyonz and credit to R7 for winning out the fight.
A chaotic start to the fight as Oddie dropped so quickly. R7, it felt like that they didn't know how they wanted to play it. Keine was so far forward that paiN Gaming saw a great opportunity to start a fight. But now with the Baron on the cards, no smite available, but with so many members of paiN out of commission, this should be an easy secure for R7.
Man, I know I'm a support main, and I talk about supports all the time, but if you rewatch Lyonz in that fight, he literally saves the entire fight for them. Keeps Keine alive, doesn't give over the bounty. He's yet to die this game as well.
Crucially, dyNquedo missed the charm onto a rooted Syndra that could have made the difference at the very end of the fight. But when we get the replay, keep your eyes on how this fight started. So look at the position of Keine here. Like, they're doing their best to protect him, but Lyonz is very far on the flank. Then the ultimate misses from Oddie. He then gives access for Cariok into the fight. And then Keine makes a smart choice, flashing over the wall, committing onto executing. And then the nice dash there to tank the charm from Lyonz as the second half of the fight is happening on the other side. Summit dives into 4 members. But look at this play from Cariok. Flash in, gets the knockback, and this charm misses. It doesn't connect, which means that the stun is able to come through, connects onto 2 members. And even if they do get that kill onto Keine, does it suddenly turn the fight? I'm not that optimistic, but a huge shutdown could have made a massive difference.
It definitely would have. We see paiN Gaming able to pick up the Drake off the back of this, but it's only because they've let their base lie in tatters. The tier 2 falling in the top lane. R7 now with a 5,000 gold lead off this Red Bull Baron power play. They've already picked up 2.6k, and that's only going to extend further. Above 3k now, the inhibitor falling. And R7 still have 2 minutes. They're going to take the mid tier 2 as well. They can move over. There's a cannon minion here. Wizer trying to get whatever gold he can get back on the rest of the map. The Pathmaker there to dodge the quickness coming in. And Cheetan overstepping just a little bit. He flashes away. The Cullen goes the wrong way, but he's able to survive for a second before Oddie and co dive in for another. Rainbow 7, 5 alive, pushing in. Wizer has to base. He's going to finish it before they get to his Nexus towers, but will he be able to defend them? A TP coming in, and dyNquedo going down. The Storm Surge rips through him. Rainbow 7 double cannons and an Nexus tower already fallen. R7 looking for more. They need to get the waves in. Can paiN Gaming defend? The Liga Latin America have woken up today, and they've come to party. They've come to play. The pullback with the all-out Wizer trying to dodge away, but he's dodging away from his Nexus, which is open for R7, who are 1 game away from Swiss.
They will change the narrative. They will change the story of history. Their second ever win against the CBLOL today, and in convincing fashion. 28-minute win, 14-4. Keine and Lyonz, the powerhouse playmakers of this game 1.
They were. We'll be back with what is likely to be an explosive game 2 in just a minute.